Hi everyone, this is Jennifer Dono and you're watching The Cloud Maven, a weekly live stream that we do here at the Ovaleye TV studio. Every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's a live class, so we pick specific subjects that have to do with web hosting, building your website, or cloud services. And today's subject is WordPress, which I know all of you are very excited about. I've had a number of web hosting members ask us questions specifically actually around the topic that we're going to be talking about today, which is in finding the right theme for your business. How do you go about finding a theme, right? That's a big question for a lot of you, and so we're going to be talking about that today. I've got about 10 or so slides. Well, actually 13 slides, but I'll go through them quickly, try and make this a 20-minute little spiel about finding the right theme for your business. I am on the live chat, so if you're watching this live, make sure that you chat in questions. I apologize that we're getting started a little late today, but we have our virtual road trip, which if you go to ovaleye.com/VRT2012, you can sign up for our caravan and get notices from us when we've got new videos up. We got a little bit behind with every road trip. There's always bumps in the roads, your car breaks down, that kind of thing, and we got behind a little bit. But today, Carissa, our community relations manager, has us literally scheduled every 15 minutes with new state stops, and we're meeting the coolest business owners ever. And you guys are going to have such a great time learning about, finding new brands and learning tips that these business owners are so graciously giving out. So go to ovaleye.com/VRT2012 to find out more about that. And again, you're watching, if you're just showing up now, The Cloud Maven. It's a weekly live stream that we do here at the Ovaleye TV studio every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am on the chat. And like I was saying, we're talking about finding your WordPress theme. So you've decided to go with WordPress, right? Now we've got to figure out how to find the best theme for your website if you're DIYing it. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is ovaleye.com. This is where we do web hosting, cloud services, and domain names. My name's Jennifer Dono, and you're watching The Cloud Maven. So the first topic that we're going to talk about before we get into actually how to literally find the design is in really thinking about what it is that we're trying to do with our website, right? What do we want our prospects to do? People that have come to your website because they found you via search. So this is a different topic of, discovering, finding out how bringing people into the website. We're just assuming that people have already come into your website. They found you via search or from Twitter or Facebook, something like that. And now we need to decide what our prospects should be doing next, right? We're talking about our sales funnel here. Pull on to the next slide. Mapping out our sales funnel. If someone shows up, do we want them to go and sign up for an email newsletter next? Do we want them to actually make a purchase? Do we want them to follow us on Facebook? Deciding what it is, how someone converts from just a window shopper into someone that actually purchases something from you, correct? So with that in mind, we have to decide what we want our homepage to be. Do we want it to be a static blog? Now, I'm talking a little fast, I should slow down. If you are hosting your website with us and we're talking about finding a WordPress theme, you could be someone that is either in a business, right, that you're selling some kind of widget or service, or you could be a blogger that's trying to find the right theme, right? But the thing is that you're all selling something. If you're a blogger, you're trying to sell eyeballs. You're trying to sell your content, right? Making sure that people come back to your blog day after day to read your content, to be part of your community, so that you can have advertisers or some other form of product maybe that you're selling down the line. So we're all trying to sell something here. So if you're a blogger, you're obviously going to want to have your content there right up in front. Maybe new content is something that you want to highlight. So you want to look for some kind of theme that highlights new content. Maybe you want to look for a theme that encourages people to subscribe to your RSS feed. So thinking about those little things. Now, as far as if you're a business owner that wants to sell a widget, right, a product or a service, you're going to want to think maybe about doing a static page depending on what your sales process is. Maybe it is that you're trying to get people addicted to your content first and be part of your community, and then sell something to them based off of what you write in your content, right? So we're looking at different ways that we're selling to people. And with WordPress, you've all heard that it's a great way to blog. It's great for SEO. It's an easy DIY solution, but it also has the ability to make, a full full out website. You don't even have to blog with WordPress. It's a content management system that allows you to manage your pages, your sidebars, everything in it, just from the actual dashboard. You don't have to get into the code as a business owner, which I know a lot of us don't. I mean, it's scary, and it's not something that you need to spend a lot of time on. You want to focus on what it is that you're actually selling, what you're an expert in. So thinking about homepage, blog versus static is a big deal when you're looking at a thing, especially if you don't know how to code, right? There's always customizations that you can do. If you found a theme and you just want to make small tweaks here and there, you can hire a designer or developer to do that for you if you don't understand the back end pieces of the blog. But if you want to do all of it yourself and save yourself a lot of money, looking for a theme that allows you to easily place a static page on the front page rather than having the blog go onto the front page is a great thing to consider. So the next thing that you're going to want to consider is design, right? So how much of it do you want to tweak in the theme? If you're going through and you're looking through, and we're going to go through that in a second, you're looking through the hundreds of thousands of themes that are out there for WordPress, and you think, oh, wow, I really like the way that this is designed, but wouldn't it be great if it matched my brand just a little bit better? Maybe the header was a little different so that my logo could fit in that way. So you have to consider how much of the website that you want to tweak, right? And how much you are capable of actually designing and changing little things. So along with the WordPress actual layout, there's a lot of things that go into the CSS. So things that are designed within the code to happen when someone pulls up a blog. And those can all be changed easily. But again, you'll need to know a little bit more about the code. And then also, a lot of these themes, and we'll talk about this in a second, provide more front-end design capabilities so you can change colors. So looking at how much customization is possible with design themes is perfect. That's something you're going to want to consider. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is support. Support is a big deal, especially for small business owners. So you've purchased web hosting, right? Now the web host is not necessarily going to be able to say, okay, for this specific theme, this is how you want to tweak it, or if you're having issues with trying to find how you can change this width, this is where you go and what file to go into. That's not always something that your web host is going to be able to provide. So at Ovaleye, we do try and strive to go the extra mile for our web hosting members and be able to support them with this. But your theme provider, the person that you purchased the theme from or got the theme from free, usually has some form of support forum available or has some kind of phone or email service available to the people that have purchased the theme or gotten the theme free. So looking for ways that you can go back and ask some questions, ask a community questions. I think that's one of the most priceless things that you can have when you've downloaded a free or purchased a theme, is that the support forum. A lot of times evangelists for that theme will be in the forum and be able to answer your questions or provide you with some insights into how things are built or offer you suggestions. So support is a big deal. Make sure that you look for that. And usually when you're purchasing a theme or you're looking through it, it'll provide you with details and features that are available, and support is usually listed out in that. So the last thing that you're going to want to look for is it stable and secure? So we've had a couple issues with this. It's always an interesting thing. And how do you know this as someone that's just getting started in web design, whether or not the theme is going to be stable and secure, reliable, from a good source? And the best thing to tell you is just to look at testimonials and look who's using that theme currently. Look at the branding. Is it something that looks like it hasn't been touched in the last 3 years, or is it something that the author is continually updating? If this is their main business, if they're making money off of this theme, and if it's not free. A lot of free themes, someone's working a full-time job and they do this for fun, and then they just drop it and move on, and they don't update based off of new versions of WordPress, changes in PHP, all sorts of other outside factors. So looking to see that the designer is someone that's still engaged with the business, still engaged with creating themes, and is available for support, and that looks like it's something, the branding, it looks like something you can trust, and that you've seen testimonials from other bloggers that this is something that's good and that you can use, is always a good idea when you're looking for a WordPress theme. So don't forget that stable and secure piece. So just to review, we're looking at, let me go ahead and take this lower third off. So we're looking at finding your theme here. And we talked about what it is that we want our prospects to do. Do we want them to make a purchase right away? Do we want them to sign up for an email? Looking at what the sales funnel is a big deal, because that's going to help you decide what theme that you want to use and how much you have to tweak of the design and the layout in order to get what it is that your end objective is. So with that being said, when we know what our sales funnel is, we want to know what the homepage should be. Should it be a blog, or should it be a static page? Should there be an email sign-up box up in the header? Should there be easy to use, sign up for Facebook, sign up for Twitter, that type of stuff incorporated into the theme? And a lot of the stuff that's missing that you might like as far as functionalities go within a theme, you can always add with a plugin later on, which we will be having a plugins Cloud Maven show, I believe, at the end of the month, and you can go to ovaleye.tv to find out more about that. So the next thing that we talked about was design. How much of the theme do you want to actually mock up yourself? Is it easy to change the color of the background, for example, or to change the layout around so that the header is a little wider for your logo, that type of a thing. Support. Making sure that the themes builder, the themes designer is actually still engaged with the business. And that goes into the next piece of being stable and secure, because you don't want hackers to get into your theme and jeopardize your business. So we just talked about those slides. Now we're going to go into actually how to find a theme, right? We've decided that we want to use WordPress, and that now we just have to find the actual design and figure out what we want our website to look like. So the first way that I'd recommend for a small business owner who's getting into WordPress for the first time, a beginner, is to actually just do a quick search over WordPress.org. You're probably familiar with it because you've done some research around what self-hosted WordPress is. Going onto WordPress.org and doing a quick little peek at the themes tab right here, you can see there's a tab up there, and just going through who they're featuring, who's most popular, that type of a thing, just to see what's available and what it is that you should actually be looking for in the first place. That's a great place to start off with. So the next thing that you're going to look at is searching for a theme on the dashboard. Right, so you've logged into WordPress either through your Plus control panel or through WordPress, through the actual URL of your domain, domain.com/WordPress, that type of a thing. Logging in, going under appearances and looking, or I believe it's just, appearances and themes. And then clicking on the install tab that you can see here. It's on the right-hand side, manage themes, and then install themes. You'll see some default themes that have been installed when you open up WordPress and install themes. You can actually do a search. So you can bring it down to maybe that your branding colors. You can choose colors and search that way. You can also search by features with columns, whether you want one column or you want two columns in the blog. So different things that you can think about in that way. Left sidebar versus right sidebar. And these are all tagged. So when someone puts a theme up into the database, it's all tagged with these different options. And so you can pull them up that way. And then also, as you can see, let me pull that back up. There's also the ability to go ahead and see on this what the featured themes are, the newest themes are, and then when you actually look at those, there's options for free themes versus paid for. That's called commercial themes, where you would have to purchase the theme, and I often recommend that for most small business owners, because you're trading something for the theme, right? There's this expectation that the designer is going to be available for you, that it's going to be updated, that it's going to be secure, that there's some kind of support there for the small business owner that is designing their own website and doesn't necessarily understand to the fullest extent what they're doing. Which is totally cool. So we just talked about searching via your dashboard. The next thing that I'm going to recommend is doing a search, and these are the actual steps that I suggest you take. The first step was to search via WordPress.org. The next one is to search via the dashboard. And this is just getting comfortable with what's available, right? Rather than sticking to one theme and then realizing 2 weeks into it that you've been working on this in your spare time, that the theme doesn't actually work for what your initial objective was, right? To get the visitor to sign up for the newsletter, that you don't know how to add that in. So making sure that you understand that and you've done a search and you've actually looked through what your options are is a great way to get started. So when you do the Google search here, let me pull up that slide. You're able to see here that there's a lot of things that are paid. You see the paid for ads that are up at the top, so you can get an idea of people that are actually spending money for you to look at their themes is a great way. Also, you can see on the side it's kind of cut off there, but you've got the similar searches. That's a great way to extend your search. So maybe you just start with WordPress themes as the keywords, and then you can go on and find out what the best WordPress themes are, what free WordPress themes are available, that type of a thing. So after we did our Google search, the next great way to look at it is to look at the design resources. And now I'm going to recommend Smashing Magazine. I've used this for years. They do each year a WordPress theme complete list of their recommended WordPress themes, and it's broken down into free WordPress themes, and you can see that here on the slide that this is starting off with the free WordPress themes. Now it goes into like photography themes, it goes into e-commerce themes, mobile apps themes, so it's broken down into categories. And the cool thing about Smashing Magazine is that since they are a content generator specifically looking for designers, that they keep this updated, so they want to make sure it's a good resource for you. So if there's an issue with the theme, they'll usually say something underneath saying, this update, this is not stable anymore, there's some kind of issue here, the designer has left, that type of stuff. So usually it's a very trusted recommendation. It's a trusted source for you to go to. And again, that's smashingmagazine.com. I'll include that in the links that if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be below. By the way, if you're watching this, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Like I said, every Friday we put out a new Cloud Maven live class video. And if you're on the chat, I am still on the chat, so you can ask questions. Feel free to. I've just got a couple more slides. I actually have just one more slide to go through. So again, design resources, smashingmagazine.com is a great one. And if you do a search for it, it's WordPress Themes 2012. It'll usually pull it up, or WordPress 2012 Smashing Magazine. Each year you can see a new one. I'd suggest going with the closest year, 2012, and that way you make sure that you have the most up-to-date recommended blog themes out there for you. So let's go ahead and pull up that last slide, which is talking about, let me pull out the lower third so you can actually see, our favorite bloggers. So I use this recommendation, Young House Love. Now this is just an example of one blogger that does what I'm talking about. But if you look here, this is actually the blogging frequently asked questions. So a lot of these people, Young House Love included, they make money blogging. They do this as a living. Both of them. It's a mom and a dad. They're married and they have a little girl. And I've followed them since I got married. I think it was 2007 or so that I started following them, maybe 2008, 2009. I can't remember exactly. But Young House Love, they do this full time. And they write about their website home improvements. They have a huge following. I follow them on YouTube too. They put out a video and within minutes it's up to like 8,000 views. And they have a book deal. They might have a couple book deals. They do stuff in magazines, interviews, all sorts of stuff. But anyway, bloggers like this that do this for a living, they obviously they get a lot of questions asked of them. How are you able to do this for a living? What does that look like? And as you can see here in their frequently asked questions, that they actually detail what it is that how much money they make, what their expenses are, that type of a thing. But they also talk about their blog design and what they had to go through in order to get this. So if you have a favorite blog, go through it and look at frequently asked questions. It's often in the contact box too, that they'll maybe include some more information, because when bloggers repeatedly get the same questions, they usually outline it somewhere. I know there's like A Beautiful Mess is another big one that I look at, and she's also detailed what it is that she's put into that blog design. So yeah, looking at your favorite blogs, you can find in the frequently asked questions. Another thing is looking at the content. If you right click on a web page, this is just a sneaky way of doing this. I wonder if you can actually see this on mine. It's usually inspect element, view page source, something like that. You can see, let's see if I can pull this up on here. So I'm on Ovalize chat right now, and I'll go ahead and show you my desktop. So if you right click and do view source, you can see here's the source here. Now if you go into WordPress content, and then you can see there's the themes folder. You can see Premiere is the theme that we're using, and a lot of websites will allow you to still view that content. Some they'll make private, and a lot of the most popular bloggers are not going to be using a theme that you can just purchase. They'll have one that's customized or custom made. If you look at Young House Love, for example, in their frequently asked questions area, it actually says something about how John, the husband, has customized the Premiere theme, which is a free theme, and he's customized it. So when you look at the source for that blog, it'll say something like Young House Love theme. So that's another thing that people do, is that they customize and rename the folders to be part of their theme that they've then mocked up. So anyway, that was a very long time of me talking. I apologize. Hopefully you guys all stayed awake for it. I am on the chat for the next couple minutes if you have questions about your WordPress theme and how to find them. This has been the Cloud Maven, and it's every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and I'm on the live chat, and you're welcome to chat in with questions. Let's go ahead and look at the upcoming shows that I've got planned out for that. Let me pull up the desktop again. So again, it's at ovaleye.tv. If you hit on upcoming shows, you can see some of our other shows that you can tune in for. But we've got the Cloud Maven next week is going to be talking about VoIP. The week after that, it's going to be talking about WordPress plugins. And on the 27th, we're going to be talking about giving you SaaS. So we're talking about SaaS, which is an acronym SaaS, and it's software as a service. It's more of the cloud type topic of the cloudmaven.com. So let's go ahead and review what we've looked over quickly. So we've talked about what do your prospects want to do on your website, considering some of the things before you start looking at themes. You've decided that you want to use WordPress, and now we have to consider what it is that we actually want to happen with our website. Mapping out your sales funnel is a good idea. Considering what you want on your homepage. Do you want it to be the blog content, or do you want it to be a static page that doesn't change? Obviously, you can change it with the content management system, but I mean like a daily update, that type of a thing. Design, considering how much effort you want to put into the design. We talked about support. Is there support available for the WordPress theme? We talked about the theme being stable and secure. Then we went into actually how to find it using a search on WordPress.org, searching in your dashboard, searching on Google or Bing, whatever your search engine of choice is, and then going into looking at design resources such as Smashing Magazine, and then finally finishing it up with looking at who your favorite bloggers, what themes they're using, and how they're mucking them up. So this has been Jennifer Dono. We've been talking about WordPress for the last 20 or so minutes. I'm available over on Twitter. I'll go ahead and put up our username here. So if you have questions following this live stream, go ahead and tweet them over at ovaleye. We'll make sure that we answer them right away. Otherwise, I'll see you back here next Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern, to talk about cloud stuff. VoIP, to be specific. All right. Well, thank you and have a great week.